Algebra 1 Lesson 47, we are looking at percent change, being able to solve problems by using this percent change. So when we talk about this, an example of a question that we might have is something like, the 8th grade earned 8 Caring Community cards. The next quarter they're going to earn 30. So what is the percent increase from quarter to quarter? How would we find that? Well, we do have a formula that we can use to talk about percent change. And what we do is say, if we are finding the percent change, we will find the change amount divided by the original amount and then multiply by 100 so that we can take that decimal that we're going to get and put it into percent form. So if we use this formula in this context, well, we would say from 8 to 30, what is the percent, what is the change? Well, 8 to 30, that is 22. The original amount is 8, and then we're going to multiply by 100. Now when we divide 22 by 8, we are going to get 2.75. And multiplied by 100 tells us that our percentage is 275%. We are saying that this is a 275% increase. Now if we were to take this 275, to get from 8 to 30, we would actually have to do my 8 plus 275% of 8. That would get me to 30. Okay, so we would have to take my original plus this amount to get to 30. That would be my percent increase. If we wanted to know what percent we have of the original, well, that's like saying my 8 is 100%. And here, I'm adding 275%. Well, that means that we have 375% of the original. So you might see percentage questions that say something like that. I have 200% of the original. Well, that would mean I have a 100% increase. 100% plus our original 100% gives us that 200% of the original. In these problems, though, we are just looking at how much are we adding on top. So, at a store in the mall, I bought shoes, and the original price was $80. That's how much the store bought them for, and the store marked them up to $130 so they could make some profit. What is the percent increase? Well, we're going to follow our formula to say our change is 50 over the original amount of 80 times 100. Well, 50 over 80, that comes to 0.625 times 100 will give us 62.5%. And since we're going up in this case, so it's a markup, it's going to be an increase. 62.5% increase. So you can see that laid out as well right there. So let's try just some really simple ones. Our percent change, so we're going to say our change is 2 over the original of 10 times 100. So that's 0.2 times 100, which means we have a 20% increase. Another one, we are going from 125 to 25. So our change is 100 over the original of 125 times 100. So we're going to say 100 over 125, that is 4 over 5 times 100, which means that we get 80%. But are we going up or down? Well, we're going down, so this is an 80% decrease. Some people show this as a negative 80%. I like to actually put the words down and say we have an 80% decrease. All right, let's look at this next one. And we are going to use our formula and say, I'm going to find the change of 15,158 minus 8,975 to show the change between 1990 and 2004 with the number of banks, and divide it by our original of 15,158. Well, when we do that, we are going to get, let's see, 15,158 minus 8,975 gives us 6,183, which we divide by my 15,000 number. which gives me 0.4079. Now we take that decimal, and just like we've done, we're going to multiply it by 100 to get a percentage of 40.79%. So it decreased 40.79%. And we could do something similar for the second one and get a percent increase. Now, we have a couple different things that we often use in real life to talk about these increases and decreases. A discount is a percent of the total price that is subtracted from the total price. This is a percent decrease. So in this case, a bookstore is having a sale of 40% off all items. What's the discount and new price of a book that originally cost $12? Well, if we are going to decrease this by 40%, I want to find what is 40% of $12. So 0.4 of 12 is $4.80. That's how much I am going to save. So that's actually the discount. Whereas the new price, I'm going to take 12 and subtract $4.80 and end up with a cost of $7.20. That's how much I am actually going to pay for this book. That's a discount. We're taking away a certain percentage. Whereas a markup, this is when stores often buy things from wholesale retailers so that they can buy them cheap and then sell them to us at a marked up rate. So when you go to a store, the store has increased the price from the place they get their items. This is in order so they can make a profit. That's why they're in business. So if they paid $5 for a box of pasta, the store might sell it to you for $7 so they can have those $2 for that for their profit. So their percent change in this case, they're going up $2 over a total or over an original of 5. We're going to multiply by 100 and see that they marked it up by 40%. They had a 40% increase. So we actually add a certain amount to the original price. Let's just do a couple more examples of this. So a computer store marks up the price for laptops they purchased at $450 each by 65%. What is the markup and new price of each laptop? So I want to add 65% of this on top. So I'm going to say, what is 450 times my percentage, which is 0.65. When we do that, 450 times 0.65 gives me $292.50. Now remember, this is the markup. This is how much they are going to increase the price of the laptop. So we're going to take my 450 and add to 92.5, which means we are going to get a cost of $742.50. That's the new price of the laptop. That's how much they would sell it to you for. Next one. In 2006, the 100-mile Beads Walkathon raised $36,000. The organizers hoped to raise $100,000 in 2007. What's the percent increase in the amount raised? Well, the change here, we're going to say the change is $64,000 over an original of $36,000. Which means I can do some simplifying and say that's really just 64 over 36. And from there, obviously, we can continue simplifying, or we can just divide and see that 64 divided by 36 is 1.7 repeating. And then we're going to multiply by 100, which means we're going to get 177.7 repeating percent increase. That's their goal. That's a pretty significant amount of increase, 177% increase. And lastly, in the 2002 Winter Olympics, U.S. athletes received a total of 34 medals. In the 2006 Winter Olympics, they received 25 medals. What is the percent decrease in the number of Olympic medals? Well, the change between 34 and 25 is 9 over our original 34. So when we take 9 and divide it by 34, I end up getting 0.2647. which, remember, we're going to multiply by 100 to make it our percentage of 26.47%. And since we're going down in amount, this is a percent decrease. Well, I hope this is helpful for your homework and for studying.